Willow, CEO of Game Face Entertainment, producer, also CEO of Melodious Grooves. Doing tracks for a minute, ran the label for a minute. Out promoting, out grinding. Got a new Lil O in stores, food on the table. Hawk's new album in stores. Beer Boys coming out this summer. A few more things on the table. Just working.
How'd you get started in production?
I got started in college, man. At Xavier University, where I met PT, Lil O, my partner Kenny Lou. I was going to the studios down there and just started working. Eventually, just started getting equipment. Started making songs and shit. Landed up on, at the time, O.H.A.W.K MCA. So, and that's when Matthew Knowles was manager, and met Matthew and hooked up with him and dropped him off some beats, and shit, one thing led to another, man. And before I knew it, that deal turned kind of sour once, I guess the girls were doing that thing and O was doing this thing, so shit. Me all hooked up and my partner Kenny said, hey look, let's put it down, let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. And that's when we dropped Blood Money. And after that, one thing led to another. Started working with Me, Flip, Rest of Circle Free, HSC, shit, damn near everybody at Houston.
What's some of the programs that you've used to record?
Man, mainly I use DP3. I love reels and I love tapes, but I love DP3 for the editing and shit. It's just quick. You can't beat it. And especially with the MIDI shit, you can incorporate both.
What equipment do you use?
Man, shit, I got them in my record, got the MPC, Triton, Proteus, Planet Fat, K2500, ASR10, Venison, good analog console, no straight, man. I record mainly on this, on the SoundCloud Ghost, but I mix everything on SSL. So, that's where your punch comes from.
How'd you learn how to produce and mix?
Man, it's a long story. I've been listening to music for a long time, DJing and been playing drums since I was 10. So I always grew up around it. But shit, growing up in Houston, man, you just grew up on good music. You had, at the time, back in the late 80s, early 90s, when I first jumped off into it, really you had Rap A Lot of Swamp House. So yeah, you hear a little bit of soul in my shit, but I kind of traveled and moved around and was able to incorporate other things in other areas. And then as far as mixing, man, gosh, I gotta get that to props up to Crazy C. He taught me really how to get that sound and to get that those vocals crisp and shit. My partner Swift showed me a little bit of how to get that shit to bang. And I just started incorporating that and listening to other people. I listened to Dre, I listened to Quincy, I listened to shit, all kind of old jazz, Thelonious Monk, Coltrane, and I just incorporate that shit and just get a sound, man, and make it sound like a good record. And that's how everything just evolved. I pretty much I self-taught my way through a lot of stuff. So, I wanted to go to school for it, but school took too long, and I was gonna make money.
So, what some advice would you say to people who want to learn how to mix, master, or produce?
Listen, get your ear straight. The main thing is your ear. With a good ear, you can tell what's in tune and what's not in tune. With a good ear, you know pitch. With a good ear, you know how to arrange and sequence drums and sequence music. With a good ear, you know how to coach vocals. With a good ear, you know how to mix. You gotta get your ear straight. And the way to get your ear straight, another way is just listen to the ones that's out there doing shit. The ones that's making the most noise as far as overall producers like your Dre's. Really, I'm trying to figure out somebody else other than him, but being a producer is more than just making beats. It's seeing a project from the start to the finish. And when I say that, I mean you don't necessarily have to do all the beats on the album. Some songs you may hear, you can say, hey, they need this or they need that, and throw it in there, you know, and shit, get other people their props too, because all y'all working it together. But you just got to see a project from start to finish, and that's really it. And get your money, you know, cause shit, this how you eat, this how you gon' eat. You know, definitely how I eat. I ain't got no other job. Shit, I ain't finna hit the streets. You know, I know the consequences, so that's mainly it.
What's some other programs besides DP3? What do you recommend, or?
Man, really, as far as programs, you know, I'll say a lot of Pro Tools is pretty much the industry standard, but the reason why I say go with DP3 because you can interchange Pro Tools, you can use a Pro Tools session loaded up in DP3, and you can't do it vice versa. As far as other programs, I'm an old school cat. So I don't use a lot of Fruity Loops. I don't use no acid or nothing like that. All my drums I make, all my sounds I get from modules, and I play a lot. I sample. When I do get drums, I sample them from old records, so they already have that sound. I mainly just use DP3 because it's just with that in a good studio, you're straight. You know, and if you're starting out, get your hands on it, but mainly get your hands on the MP. You know, a lot of cats are venturing away from it, but shit, man, you need an MPC, or you need an ASR10, or you need an SP1200. You need some type of external drum machine to get that shit just boom and hitting right.
What kind of drum machine other than the MPC would you recommend?
If you can get your hands on an R8, get that. And like I said, the SP1200, get that. Definitely snatch one of them up. You know, a lot of early P shit was done on boxes, so they're okay. Never worked for me. I'm more of I sample those drums into the MP simply because it's so compatible with the studio, and everything works together.
What advice would you? Tips you can use for samples when you make a sample?
It's good to find hits that were already hits, but sometimes those may have already been used so much, now you just gotta dig in the crates. You gotta go way, way, way back, you know, and play with it. Shit, play with it, man. I guess that's one of the benefits of I started with ASR10, so all the shit that's going on now with samples, man, really we was doing that shit in the early 90s, you know, we listened to all the old shit coming out of Houston. You know, all this shit was really made with ASR10s and EPSs. So I say learn your sampler and just play with the samples, because there's no telling what you can do.
What are some of the steps on recording a song?
First, you gotta dump the beat. Then a lot of people dump the beat stereo, but I prefer to lay all the tracks out separate because you got more control over the mix at the end of the day. After you do that, you gotta get comfortable with the artist, see what kind of direction they're gonna take. Usually, once we do that, normally we start it up with prayer. That gets the thing moving, you know, and that gets us all in tune with one another. Then we record, and then after we record it, get it sounding right, do the edits, mix it down, put it out, and sell, promote.
What are some of the steps to edit and mix?
Once again, that goes back to like DP3. Usually, what I do, if I'm gonna do radio edits for songs, I go ahead and I take I clean the vocals up. I put all the drops in the song. If I want my snares and my kicks to come out at a certain time, my bass lines to come out at the end at a certain time, I edit a lot of those in DP3, you know, after the overall process is complete. Then sometimes I go back and add songs. Then once I get through with that, I go into the mix, where I separate it and make it sound like one and make it sound big and fat. And I use a lot of effects processors, a lot of compression, a lot of EQs, external EQs, a lot of tubes, anything older than one.
What's the difference between the mixing and mastering?
Mastering really is overall equalization of the overall project. Like once you're gonna have, 9 times out of 10 when you get your different mixes, some of them will or won't match. But a good mastering job will have the album in tune. It'll boost the overall sound so that at certain levels you hear no distortion. And before I master, one of the things that I do after the mix is, I hate to let all my cats out the bag, but I go ahead and share it with you, is I bust down a 1/2 inch first. That makes it more fat. And then I go straight into the mastering process. And that way everything's pretty much rounded. And shit, the mastering, they get it, they just warm the shit up. They just make it big, make it fat. I mean, there's good mastering, you know, but you can, it ain't but a few that really know, a few people that really know how to do it.
Do you feel production has become easier when you first started to now, to new technology, the advancements of the technologies from back in the late 80s, early 90s to now?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I definitely say that. Shit, man, we didn't have computers. You know, we had tape machines, which I still use, and I still use them with the computer, but a lot of the vocals and all the editing that we had to do, I had to fly right back in MPC and do most of the editing, sync the hooks up, you know, with the reels. So now we got software and with a good Mac, I mean, you can get away with a lot of stuff. You can clean a lot of dirt up, you can fix a lot of vocals. You know, I hate sloppy tracks, but some shit you gotta deal with.
Now, for people you want to record straight to the computer, what do you recommend, a Mac or a PC?
Mac. PC is cool, but they crash too much. And B, a Mac has its own OS. I mean, it's not supported by Windows or anything else. So if I was suggesting someone how to do it, I'd just say, hey, get you a Mac, take all that internet shit off of it, take all your business applications off of it, all your video, and all, get a computer totally separate for that, and just concentrate on, have one that concentrates totally on the music.
How do you feel the music business has changed since you first got into it? Now that you have, you know, MP3s and file sharing.
Well, from a promotions or executive aspect, it's a lot quicker using MP3s as far as when I have to get a radio record to this PD or this MD at this station, and you know I can just MP3 on the record, so that's cheaper on my pockets and it cuts down time. Where it has hurt is some things leak that you don't want them to leak. But from an independent standpoint, hell, I don't mind with leaks because all it is free pub. So that I think it's helped. You know, some ways I think it's hurt. So it's just one of those deals.
What are some of the projects that you're working on currently?
Man, currently my main focus right now is in the promotions and working some of the records that I got. I'm working with Hawk and with O on some things, you know, jointly that we're talking about putting together. And the Grit Boys coming up, but mainly my main focus right now is I kind of like stepped out of the studio into the streets, and now it's time to sell the music. But I still do beats. I mean, I'm doing beats all day long because shit, I sell beats. That's how I eat. So, you know, that's mainly it. It's kind of hard because when you go from producing to having to I guess make moves at the same time, as far as the company, it gets difficult because your focus tends to shift. You know, once started with music only, and then it's like, damn, now I gotta sell this shit too. So it's kind of hard to just concentrate and game projects up like I used to. But I'm constantly, when I got a little bit of downtime, I'm in the lab making beats.
You have any last words for the people?
Just grind. Grind. Don't ever stop. You know, once you get that record, that's only when it begins. You gotta keep it. Stay tuned in with God, because you're gonna need him through this journey. That's it.
Thank you very much.